¿Listo?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
All right. Good day, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Latin Review. Today we have Tio Bert Ramos with us, who has extensive history promoting Latino business and culture globally. From Europe to Latin America, Asia, and North America, Tio Bert has networked and established non-partisan connections for moving and solving community problems with relevant and real-time direction. Tio Bert, welcome to today's Latin Review. What can you share with us today?
Thank you, Rick. Saludos a todos. Today we're going to discuss issues of importance to the Latino community, which always begs to ask the question, where's the brown?
Tio Bert, before we get into where is the brown, what does brown mean?
You know, brown is a mezcla, which is a mixture in Spanish. In other words, a big diverse group of people. Many nations, not just Mexicans, but Salvadoreños, Hondureños, Cubanos, Puerto Ricanos, 30-odd groups of people, and includes many of the Latin Asian cultural groups, such as the Filipino community.
So what do you mean, where is the brown?
Well, you know, Rick, we're everywhere in the United States. We are in every country, in every state, in every township, in every city, in every neighborhood. When I'm asking where's the brown, I'm wondering, where is the brown, the representation of the vast Latino community on boards, whether it's community boards or airport authority boards, convention authority boards? There's not a lot of that going on in this country.
So is this what you consider leaving out the brown on the street, this lack of representation?
Yes, that's exactly right. A few select voices do not represent our diverse community because we are all different. It's more than salsa surpassing ketchup, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean, Tio Bert, salsa surpassing ketchup?
It's called a comfort zone. In traditional times, as well as in cultural shifts, acceptance of traditional foods is the first indicator of acceptance.
Do you suspect that this result is due to cultural isolation or due to cultural dynamics?
This is a combination of both because we are trying to trend American while keeping our heritage. There are so many obstacles to assimilation. Remember that the statistical fact is that America has been in a period of blending, and the Latinos are becoming the majority in our demographic groups. Our growing power is reflected in political, economic, and cultural ways.
Given all these dynamics, why would you say gente over Latino or Hispanic?
Well, Hispanic tends to emanate from the Iberian Peninsula. Latinos tend to cover certain people in the Central and South American, some Mexican, although the Mexican communities, which is the largest in the U.S. by any measure, tend to be called Mexican. As a matter of fact, most people just call everybody Mexican. And so when you say those things like that, the best way to describe everybody in my world is gente, because gente means people. That covers everybody. Everybody that's in our immediate vicinity and neighborhood.
There is a recent report out on the changing demographics across all the counties of America. With Hispanics gaining in percentage, how do you see this dynamic changing the American culture?
I think that the biggest change and shift will be in the voting blocks. As more and more awareness of the Latino community and within the Latino community of the importance of voting. And I tell everybody out there in the communities that I speak to, which is a lot of geographic, I put a lot of miles in. If you vote, then you've exercised your right, but also your obligation. And now the elections and the campaigns will be more focused on where the Latino power block is as far as voting.
So, Tio Bert, is this what you mean when you start talking about salsa surpassing ketchup?
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just a cultural or a cliche about ketchup. No disrespect to Heinz or Hunt's. But truly, the acceptance of the Latino community in the general population has become, I would say, generally more accepted as we move along towards a blending of our cultures. And that's what we really want. We need to drop that hyphen sometime.
So, is this why Latino stores, the TV and radio stations, the newspapers and advertisers are fondly Spanish? It's like English is an afterthought.
Well, in many ways, it is an afterthought because first generation people tend to be, I guess they seem to be more comfortable in their own language, customs, colors, even colors. Because the Latino community, as you know, is a wild array of colors. It's like colors, lots of bright colors, very gregarious, very happy. Even with the hardest of times, they're always a happy, hardworking group of folks. I think that as we become more comfortable with each other, you will see second and third generations becoming more and more intermixed as far as business. But there will always be that pizza store that is Italian. There will always be that beautiful Greek restaurant. There will always be Mexican restaurants, stores that carry traditional cultural food. It's just a way of making this truly a nation of immigrants.
Speaking of business, is it true that Latinas start more businesses than any other entrepreneurial or investment group?
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely, positively, Latinas are the driving, thriving business gurus of the Latino community. They by far surpass anybody, including Latinos, in starting businesses and succeeding because they are truly driven by super needs, being women and a lot of times mothers, and most times helping in the, I would say, in the economics of the house. So there's a lot of reasons why the Latinas are so successful, but mostly it's because they're dedicated and hardworking and really, really care about our community. And when I say our community, I mean the communal community of everybody.
So that goes a long ways to helping us have stronger communities as well. So in terms of all of this and their economic impact, what would you say that the Latin dollar is worth?
Well, right now, at this time, the value of the buying power of the Latino community, all of the gente combined, is probably $1.5 trillion. But it's growing so fast because it's the youngest demographic in this country. By far, the youngest. Average age now in the Latino community is between 25 and 30. And that is unbelievable that 1 in 5, 1 in 6 people in the United States are already Latino. And it is forecast to be half Latino in 15, 20 years. That's how fast this population is. So now is the time for us to join hands across the board in this great land of ours.
With all this silent power, both political parties are courting la gente. Where do you see the winning side of the silent brown?
The winning side of the silent brown is the brown. The winning politicians or candidates or seekers of support will be those that really understand and attempt to get into the culture of the Latino or the gente. Because, for instance, if they don't show an understanding of the quiet community, which is what I call the Latino community, they tend to be more quiet and less intrusive as a group. There are exceptions, and there are a lot of people that are trending, I guess you would say, to be more militant in demands. But by far and large, the people in our community are respectful, quiet, hardworking, And that's what people fail to see, and maybe that's why they don't have a voice. Actually, they have a problem in being heard, because as you notice, all of the opinion makers and the poll takers and these political talking heads tend to look at black and white. It's not all black and white. As I tend to tell people throughout, even throughout Europe, there's a new sheriff in town, and he's brown. And there is a reason for that. But if we can embrace that into a community effort which covers all ethnic groups, I think we will be far better for it. At least so far, that's what I think.
Well, in closing, I'd like to thank you, Tio Bert, for coming on our show today. I know how busy you are, and your time can get short. Appreciate your sharing your knowledge and insights with us today so our community members can become more aware of what and where the issues are. Those of you watching, we appreciate you joining us and hope you are finding this series informational and educational. For Community First TV and the Latin Review, this is Rick Frost.